What's up, Gub Seekers? I'm in the dark. I'm in a dark space. Welcome. We haven't done a show in a while. We're back. Oh no, this is happening again. Oh God.
Welcome. We haven't done a show in a while.
Rockfin.
We're back.
Oh no, this is happening again. Rockfin. We're having this weird echo with Rockfin. I don't know why Rockfin keeps doing this. And then I can't see what it is. Rockfin. We're having this weird echo with Rockfin. I don't know why Rockfin keeps there. That's. And then I can't see what it is. Rockfin. We're having this weird echo with Rockfin. I just shut that down. And I can't see what it is. Rockfin. We're having this weird echo with Rockfin. I just shut that down. That should kill it.
I'm bringing myself in here just because I feel like someone needs to make fun of you while this is happening. I'm bringing myself in here just
dude, I don't know what.
Can you mute the tab, like the whole tab?
If I mute it, I can't hear you.
No. That tab that's playing the extra.
Hold
tab.
on.
I don't know.
All right. I got it. There's there.
This very much feels like if you were turned into AI after your death, and I just kept doing the show. You're in a void, your head's kind of floating, and your audio's echoing.
Yeah, it's great. Your head was just frozen for a second.
From my view, your head was frozen. So I don't know.
Oh, really?
Don't know what's going on.
I'm using a VPN.
How's your internet there?
All right. There. I just disconnected the VPN, which I don't like doing, but all right, that should make it better.
I
lost you.
In my experience, that's made a difference.
Where's Lee Camp?
Well, it's probably the VPN readjusting or something, or the lack of VPN.
Yes. All right, I think we got it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you give the intro. I'm going to turn something off so it doesn't make noise. I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Government Secrets with the two most censored comedians in America, Lee Camp and Graham Whoop. Hi, what's up? Lee's adjusting something. We haven't done the show in like a month, so we're just like fumbling over tech issues. It's fantastic.
Yes. How is Asia?
Asia's great, man. I actually just did a show tonight. It is Wednesday night here, a little after 9 p.m. I did a show in a cigar bar, so my Batman shirt smells a little bit like cigars.
Oh, does that counteract all of the good the green juice does? Like
yes, it does.
Versus green juice.
I have to like double up. I have to get a green juice IV tomorrow morning just to offset the cigar bar. But
dude, there's one remaining cigar bar in Washington D.C. that's like a block from the White House where Redacted and I used to take tape, and John F. O'Donnell wanted to take me there. It's like I don't know. He's like you got to come. It's really cool. Whatever. And so we go there, and it really does. Like every piece of furniture just reeks of, and you cannot get the smell out of anything, out of your hair for weeks. And I was only moderately bothered by it. I was like, whatever. John lost his mind. John was like 2 days later, he's like, my backpack still smells like fucking cigars. Like,
I'm going insane. It's I used to smoke cigars, and I forgot. I was reminded why I stopped. I mean, it was an absolutely fun show, but yeah. And then speaking of DC, before we get into it, I mean, I posted a video after Kimmel he just came back, and I saw his thing last night or whatever. But I was like, everyone's like, oh my God, W. Kwame Bell made it. He was like, this is Jimmy Kimmel's the canary in the coal mine. I go, no.
Yeah.
No, Lee Camp and myself are the canaries in the coal mine. Like you of all people are you've been censored so hard. I was demonetized. You had your whole channel scrubbed, wiped off. We have been, and nobody believed. Like, this is the thing. Like, I'm glad people spoke out. Jimmy Kimmel, the late night comics they're very safe. That's why they get those jobs in corporate media. But nobody was. How many people have you told about your censorship and they kind of look at you like, okay, buddy, like you say all that crazy Alex Jones shit. Of course that, like they didn't want to believe us.
Yeah, they don't care. I mean, to speak of the mainstream media, obviously I have friends and things who care, but this mainstream media does not give a shit because you were, you and I and a tiny group of us speaking out against U.S. empire, against capitalist destruction of the world. And so to them, these are mainly liberals, but I guess you got Republicans as well. But to them, it's like, well, that stuff should be like, you shouldn't be allowed to say that stuff. You shouldn't be allowed to be critical of the U.S. empire in that way. You can be a white nationalist and prefer there not be a war in Ukraine. That's okay. But you can't be an anti-empire, anti-capitalist comedian. And so, just did not care at all when my show was deleted by U.S. sanctions, when my YouTube channel was deleted by U.S. sanction by U.S. pressure. Didn't matter at all. No.
Yeah, I know. You had redacted. You had you had your YouTube channel scrubbed and then redacted tonight. The Department of Justice shut down a news outlet. Yeah. Which is like, wow, we're all about freedom of speech. Shouldn't we be allowed to watch Russia Today, Al Jazeera, Press TV, Fox, MSNBC?
CGTN, China's channel, was forced to register as foreign agents, even though that had never been done to a press outlet, because the whole idea of foreign agent registry had to do with lobbyists, not press. Yeah. And yet we keep giving money to Israel and Ukraine. That's okay. But comedians like you and I, we're a threat. Like, comedians are more dangerous than pedophiles, apparently, under this administration, because totally. A lot more. Pedophiles run the government, my friend. Some people are talking about how your video is frozen, which it is for me as well. But since this is, half a podcast and really audio is more important, I don't think we should worry that much about it. But. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to do. I'm on my Wi-Fi here in my Airbnb, and I shut down the VPN. You tried cranking your computer a couple more times? I have cranked it. Yeah, I've hand cranked it several times. Okay, good. Well, I mean, I was wondering whether it takes more processing power to do the virtual background, but it doesn't matter, really. It does. I could shut that down. It does take more. I could shut that down. All right, let's do it. Where's virtual effects? Oh, God. Then we got to see the back alley nunchuck dojo you're at. Yep, there it is. There's my back alley nunchuck dojo. Are the nunchucks allowed on the plane is the question. Yes, if you fly any of the Asian airlines, you're allowed to bring martial art weapons on. They encourage it. Okay, so now it's not frozen anymore. It's just delayed. But anyway, I don't think we should worry. So great video. What more do you want me to do? Like, I'm trying to hide where I'm at. I've gotten rid of the VPN. Now you see my apartment. Like, I think it would run better if you showed the address that you're at. If you could put your banking info, scroll it across the bottom, that typically helps. It's well known. It's well known the web functions better if you just hold your Social Security up on the screen. Yeah. Okay, I mean, if you say so, I'm gonna do it. Well, all right. So, what do we want to do first? Mine should be funny, so I guess you could go first. I'll go first. Okay, mine is just sort of standard. Because I've been traveling, so I was in Hong Kong for a Bitcoin conference. You're gonna love that, and Nice.
And then I went to Vietnam for their 80th celebration, which was amazing, that parade. And it was like being in Times Square New Year's Eve. It was packed. And then I went to Bali, and I was going to go to a Bitcoin conference in Bali, but I got sick. But then I ended up going to this Bitcoin meetup and met some cool people. And this guy built this cool website for me, which was great. So I was like, there's no way Indonesia has avoided the interference of the CIA. And I typed in CIA in Indonesia, and oh my God, it just is like, it's
huge.
It's insane. So they had this leader for a long time, Sukarno, then they had Suharto. And this one is like only the United States CIA could end up. It's so convoluted. I'll give you just the bullet points. We'll get into the detail. Basically, we backed a guy that was anti-communist in the 50s. And of course, that was our whole MO. Bad, communists bad, commies bad. We trained some of these guys. And then there was like a fight in Indonesia, and the military split, and it was anti-communist guys that were trained by the U.S. and then pro-America guys on the other side. So America was basically, it was fighting itself in Indonesia. So
good. Well, you can't get better unless you practice. So
well, yeah. Well, it's like you have to have inter squad scrimmages before you have a real, you know what I mean? Before you play a real season.
Right.
So, we will go. Oh, there's so much stuff here. So there was, all right. So basically, God, where do I start? So since the 1950s, the CIA thought to thwart communism in Indonesia due to its proximity to Vietnam and China. Again, America in the 50s, this is before it got even dumber and went, oh no, Vietnam and China are going to link up, which is like everyone in the State Department, do not read a history book about Vietnam, who was under China's imperialistic colonization for like almost 1,000 years. The Chinese, the Vietnamese hate the Chinese, but that just are dumb. They're all pals over there. Communism is bad. Don't. So that was
right.
The approach to Indonesia also opened a window to our horrible approach that we were going to then execute for 20 years in Vietnam. So just to kind of give everybody a little backdrop.
We have never found a horrible approach we don't like.
Oh my God. There's so many good horrible approaches. And also the importance of the sea lanes and the oil industry. So Indonesia, for those of you who don't know, is a series of about somewhere in the neighborhood of 20,000 islands. Bali is one of those islands, but there's Java, which is the main island. There's where Jakarta is, and so it's right in Southeast Asia. So Sukarno was a
Trump
fierce
can correctly pronounce 2 of these 20. By the way, did you get to catch him? Did you get to catch the enjoyable moment of him trying to pronounce acetaminophen?
Oh no, I missed that.
Oh, it's so beautiful. His big White House announcement that acetaminophen causes autism, and then he goes, and so you should not take, if you're pregnant, you should not take mifabifabin, a mif, and he goes, let's see, how do we say that? See the.
Oh, we have such great leadership in this country.
That's amazing.
It's so great. And then like that Kamala's book, she's like, I was going to pick Pete Buttigieg. I'm like, oh, you would have lost again. Like, losing.
She would have won so easy with Buttigieg. God, just would have done
would have been amazing.
The little CIA guy would have really helped the ticket.
The ex-naval intelligence officer, who I firmly believe he's actually straight. He's deciding to be gay to get liberal votes. That's what I think about Pete Buttigieg. But anyway,
yeah, I believe that.
Sukarno was the fierce nationalist who became the first democratic, listen closely, we've heard this before, the first democratically elected president of Indonesia. He tried to balance the country's different regions, cultures, languages, because like Bali is a Hindu island, mostly Hindu, and it's Bali Hinduism, which is kind of its own unique thing. And then the rest of the country is largely Muslim. So it's and each island kind of has its own vibe. It's a different thing. Like, so there was a Communist Party of Indonesia, which was called the PKI. Under Sukarno, the PKI became the largest communist party in the world outside of China and the Soviet Union, and well over 3 million active members. Sukarno himself was a nationalist, not a communist, but he depended on the Communist Party, and it allowed him to mobilize mass support for his own political objective much easier in the years 1958 to 1959. In return, he would ban any anti-communist press and would restrain the army in order to help the PKI. In this delicate balancing act, Sukarno attempted to court both sides of the Cold War. Well, there's no way the United States was going to let that happen.
No. Either you're all in with the U.S. empire or you're nothing.
No. The PKI and the army both operated independently and were in constant competition from the village level all the way up to the capital city. So in 1956, the Indonesian government and Sukarno faced a threat to its legitimacy when several regional commanders began to demand autonomy from Jakarta. This is what I'm talking about. It's a nation of islands. They were like, nah. After mediation failed, Sukarno took action to remove the dissident commanders. In 1958, elements of the Indonesian military, with the support of the CIA, rebelled against the rule of President Sukarno. The attempted coup ended in a failure. In 1958, dissident military commanders in central Sumatra and northeast, forgive me for mispronouncing these, Sulawesi, declared the revolutionary government of the Republic of Indonesia movement, which was aimed at overthrowing the Sukarno regime. They were joined by many civilian politicians from this other party, the Masayumi Party, and who were opposed to the growing influence of the Communist Party, or the PKI. President Sukarno, in an address to the UN after the failed coup, denounced imperialism and vowed he was determined not to let a small corner of the world make a plaything of Indonesia. So after the failed coup in 1958, when President Eisenhower, in September 25th, 1957, he ordered the CIA to overthrow the Sukarno government. Soviet intelligence learned of the plans almost instantly, publicizing the American plot to overthrow Sukarno 3 days later in an Indian newspaper, Blitz, which Soviet intelligence controls despite Soviet awareness. The CIA began planning the coup and set up operational bases primarily in the Philippines. The CIA then employed veteran Filipino CIA paramilitary officers to make contact with Indonesian military forces on Sumatra and Sulawesi. Working in tandem with the Pentagon, deliveries of weapon packages were prepared for distribution for rebel military forces in Sumatra and Sulawesi. The CIA also financed rebel forces with radio stations that issued anti-Sukarno broadcasts in an act of psychological warfare. The American involvement, which was meant to remain a secret, was discovered when an American... Yes.
Were they wearing their fake mustaches?
I know they have fake mustaches and hats, and they're like, we're not with the CIA. We just don't like Sukarno.
We're not American. What?
We're not Americans at all. So they were discovered when an American pilot named Pope was shot down. In a dramatic unmasking, Pope was found to have his military identification card on him.
Yeah, but don't bring your card saying you're with the CIA.
You know, this is a little thing a lot of guys might not realize. When you're going to be a spy, don't keep an ID card saying I'm in the CIA.
Yeah, totally. Don't wear that shirt that says, CIA men do it best or whatever. Like,
yeah, or property of Langley.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, a lot of guys don't know that, but that's something they've started to train now.
Put some makeup over the barcode they grill into your back when you first get accepted into the CIA.
When they go, are you in the CIA? Don't, or when they go, hey, what are you doing here? Don't immediately respond with, I'm not in the CIA.
Yeah.
If that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, this is the first day they teach you this.
So he had his ID card on him for the U.S. Air Force, the paperwork for the operation. So don't bring the plan of the CIA, the coup.
You were supposed to eat that hours ago. They even include, like, when they give you the plan, they even include a little bit of hot sauce with it.
Yeah. You don't print it up and fold it in your pocket next to your CIA military ID. Totally
supposed to eat that.
Maybe he wasn't hungry. You know what I mean? We don't know. The subsequent investigation also outed the Taiwanese cat company that Pope was an employee for his CIA transport service. After the incident,
Taiwanese cat company?
Yeah, CAT.
What the fuck's a cat company?
They do transportation for the CIA.
Cat company.
Yep. It's an acronym. I don't know what the acronym stands for. Probably CIA American Transit. Probably something.
I assume they were delivering cats to the restaurants.
No, Lee. No. This is why we're not on late night TV.
This is the stuff that would get us banned if there was any banning left to be done.
There's no more banning left. After this incident, communist activists used Western intervention as main point in arguments for communist rule, the next political campaigns. So in an effort to justify the interference by the United States, the CIA stated that in the time leading up to the coup, Indonesian economic development was severely impacted by the government's. Oh, so they're there to help the economy. That's what the CIA is known for. They just want to help people get jobs. That's what their whole.
We're just. You know what you don't want to hear? I'm with the CIA, and we're here to help.
We're here to help. Oh God, run for your lives. As a result, the outlying island population, which was responsible for most of the company's exports and tax revenues, became discontented and with receiving little in return for the large contributions. In addition, the government began its nationalized foreign-owned plantations and mines, investing in the industries of rubber, copper, and tin. However, the facilities were noted to be ill-maintained, which ultimately harmed Indonesia's economy under Sukarno. The islands began to set up semi-autonomous governments until a rebellion finally broke out a year later. Back in the United States, the OCB, Operations Coordination Board, they had a luncheon on January 8th, 1958. The memorandum for the record states, Mr. Dulles gave a brief report on the latest developments in Indonesia. He referred particularly to indications that Bandung Council proposes to establish a free government of Indonesian, and said that while he believes most of this sort would be premature, there is little we can or should do to try and stop it. It was agreed it would be unwise to supply arms so long as the possibility exists that the government might become communist dominated. Nevertheless, dissidents of Sumatra were anticipated to issue a demand for the establishment of an anti-communist government on February 7, 1958. So this started basically, which was an ultimatum was issued by an Indonesian colonel on February 9th, 1958. And then there was rebels. Sukarno aggressively opposed the rebels. He called upon his loyal army commander, and in February 21, forces loyal to Sukarno had been airlifted to Sumatra and began the attack. On February 21st, 1958, the Indonesian military obliterated radio stations in Sumatra via bombings and established a naval blockade along the coast. Not only did the CIA underestimate the Indonesian army, but the agency apparently failed to realize that many of the top commanders within the Indonesian army were fiercely anti-communist, having been trained in the United States, even calling themselves the sons of Eisenhower. So
Nice.
they created a battle, and the opposing team had also been trained by the United States.
Call me crazy, but should the CIA maybe crack a book sometimes? Like, should
No.
they just do 8 minutes of research when they're cooing a country?
Should they ever ask, hey, is there anyone that we've trained on the other side?
Yeah, you folks with us. Could you raise your hand if you're with us?
Do we keep records on anyone that we've trained or no? No? Do we check them? What do we? So,
I mean, the U.S. empire is so large and we don't know our ass from our elbow that often our ass ends up fighting our elbow.
yes. The misstep led to American aligned Indonesian military forces fighting American aligned rebel forces.
Nice. Nice.
The 5 CIA officers on Sumatra fled with their lives, with the USS Tang and Navy submarine picking them up. Finally, a desperate last-ditch CIA pilots began bombing Indonesian outer islands on April 19, 1958, striking military and civilian targets, killing hundreds of civilians and fomenting much anger among the Indonesian populace. Eisenhower had ordered that no Americans be involved in such missions, yet CIA Director Dulles ignored the order from the president.
It's almost like Dulles thought he controlled the country.
Yes.
Yeah, like
It's
that.
weird.
I know that's crazy to say. I'm way over my skis here, but it sounds like Dulles thought he was running the show.
It's almost like then the next president, Kennedy, realized this and said, that's why we need to break the CIA up into 1,000 pieces and scatter it into the wind like dust. And then
fired Dulles, which went fine.
which went fine. Yes.
Dulles helped no ill will following his firing.
Nope. He took that like a man.
Took it like a man and didn't do anything to JFK after that.
Nope. JFK served 2 terms and was a great president.
He was. In fact, he's still alive today. He's quite an old man, but still alive.
He's great. He's doing the speaker circuit.
Yep.
103.
103.
He's 115. Sure. On May 18th, 1958, Al Pope, an American citizen and CIA bomber, was downed over Indonesia, revealing U.S. involvement. The 1958 CIA covert coup thus ended as a complete and transparent failure. The failed coup would become one of the biggest failures in the history of the CIA. The CIA's inability to compete with Soviet covert intelligence proved costly in this instance and would prove costly in many other CIA operations against the Soviets. That's how America completely screwed up in Indonesia. Ba-da-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. They didn't know they were fighting each other.
Okay, well, now we're going to get on to the histories of something that went far better in America, which is the history of
Segment 2. Elixirs. More magic voodoo.
Of medicines and elixirs across the United States. And I also thought this was a good time to do this because Trump is gutting like the remnants of the FDA. Let's be honest, the FDA has been captured by corporate America for a while now.
Yeah.
But Trump didn't even like, he didn't even like you knowing that there's, they only allow 1% rat feces in your hot dogs. So now he wants that up to, it feels like if we really devote ourselves, we get that up to 10, 20% rat feces.
It's like he's ruining these already compromised and broken institutions.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's replacing them with anything better. He's saying this thing that was pretty awful, I'm just going to get rid of it, which is going to make things kind of more awful.
Oh, it's going to make things utterly disastrous for your average Americans. But And again, this is going to come out as a shocker to people. Trump and our ruling elite are not out for average Americans.
I know.
That's not where their loyalty lies.
I just learned that yesterday. I thought they were. I'm just so perplexed.
It really, once you figure out that they might not care about you, it just, everything unravels. You're like, oh, so much makes sense now.
Oh, God.
So many news stories that I just couldn't get my head around. They're all clicking.
Oh, Americans are addicted to this. Americans are addicted to this. It's amazing. But anyway, tell us about Elixirs, Lee Camp.
So now that we're getting back there to where you can just slap a label on a bottle and say, yeah, this cures your spina bifida. Just drink 3 of these every day. I thought we should know the history. This is coming from legendsofamerica.com. In the late 19th and early 20th century, patent medicine became very popular for various aches, ailments, and diseases, often sold by traveling salespeople in what became known as medicine shows. And we've done segments on certain quack doctors that became huge in America. So we've mentioned these things before, but never gotten deeper into them. Became known as medicine shows. These many concoctions had colorful names and even more colorful claims. Despite the name patent medicine, these elixirs and tonics were rarely patented. They couldn't get one word into the name of these things with telling the truth.
Oh, my God. I love it. That just from the jump, the first word of the label is a bold lie.
Yeah. They were like, hey, I bet some of these could be patent. We'll call them patent medicine. We'll call them real accurate medicine.
I bet you someone would patent it if they could. So that's basically like having a patent.
Yeah. All we're saying is there has been a medicine that was patented at one time. Just not ours.
I mean, isn't patent more of just like a state of mind? You know what I mean? Like, why do we have to make it all like official with rules and papers and stuff,
Totally. In the 1870s, these medicines began to be exported to America. They started, patent medicine and that garbage started in Europe and England and stuff. Were sold by various merchants, including grocers, goldsmiths, drugstores, and even postmasters, flourishing in the U.S. from the start. Yeah, I love that. It's like we were eager for just bottles of bullshit. Just for day one, they were like, oh, we found our market. These people will drink it up, literally.
And now every other month, every other week, there's some new peptides or methylene blue, something that just starts popping around on the internet that's supposed to cure everything.
Or anything an independent media guy is hawking, like colloidal silver or Monster Energy anal suppository or whatever it is Joe Rogan's selling.
Monster Energy anal suppository. Now that I would absolutely buy.
Oh, I have 4 in right now.
That's why the screen we were having web trouble, because you're just so amped up on anal suppositories.
I'm draining all of our inner tubes, is what it is, Graham. I've just drained them all, so you don't get any.
Hyper anal monster is just fucking up the Wi-Fi.
That's the motto. Do you want a monster in your anus? Try Monster Energy anal suppository.
Joe Rogan will punch it right in your butthole.
You want to wake up with a punch to the butthole? You'll be ready to go.
Oh, just a guy bent over. Thanks, Joe Rogan, for punching my butthole.
The camera angle of his face is, oh! And I'm ready for the day. Mondays can eat shit. Tell me that wouldn't sell well.
Are you kidding me? We need to put a fake patent on this thing and start selling it right now, Lee.
I'm
just gonna buy.
But we don't pat it in. We jam it in. Monster Energy suppositories. I'm
just gonna buy some Ricolas, and then we'll rewrap them with this new label, and we'll say patent, and we just tell people to stick Ricolas in their asshole, and that'll make them more energy, and we'll get testimonials.
So I want to show, we're not far off, by the way, for the ads for these patent medicines back in the day. I want to show you what they had for one of these medicine shows. I can't make it bigger, unfortunately. But if you look closely, it says The Great Medicine Show. It is a picture of a buffalo. And then the biggest sentence underneath that is one continuous round of pleasure.
With a buffalo? I don't understand.
One continuous round of pleasure.
Oh, so you have to have sex with a buffalo in the 1800s? I don't get this at all.
It sounds a lot like buffalo sex, but either way, they sold a lot of tape. They moved a lot of units.
Have sex with a buffalo, and Joe Rogan says you'll be fixed of all diseases.
Yes. So, flourishing in the U.S. from the start, the middle of the 19th century, the manufacture of patent medicines was a major industry in America. Remedies were available for almost any ailment, including venereal diseases, tuberculosis, infant colic, digestive problems, female complaints, quote unquote.
Female complaints?
Does that mean they're the ones complaining, or you're complaining about females? We'll get females out of your life.
You just have a girlfriend that whines a lot? You just give her one of these pills? And is that
one of these pills that'll get rid of your female complaints? Oh, that's rough. it's just arsenic. Oh.
Oh my God.
Dude, honestly, if someone today was selling something to deal with complaints about females, I feel like it would sell like hotcakes. No way that Tim Dillon or Joe Rogan couldn't push those.
Oh my God, Jordan Peterson would be just selling 1 million of these a day.
Yes. This will get rid of females.
Endorsed by the Tate brothers or whatever, you know.
Yeah, totally. These remedies were openly sold to the public in retail stores by individual salesmen, or in what would develop into the traveling medicine show. One of the first significant products, and we should remind everyone this, in case you don't know your history, this is before television. So when a show came to town, that was some big shit. Okay.
Nice.
Because basically what people did back then is they sat and watched their wallpaper. They just imagine the wallpaper doing things. One of the first significant products heavily displayed in the early advertising industry was patent medicines. Often these advertisements would promote exotic ingredients, even when their actual ingredients came from common drugs. Branding of products became popular to distinguish one medicine from its numerous competitors. Though most patent medicines were sold at high prices, they were generally made from cheap ingredients. Oh, shocking. Yeah, that's not done now. And by the way, the closest thing to this these days is stuff sold at energy, whatever, like GMCs and stuff. I'm not saying they all are, but there's just loads of like, this like, I think we're back to selling snake venom, right? It's like this snake venom capsules will fix all that ails you.
Yes. And there's always some new thing. And, some of this stuff is like, okay, there might be some research behind it, but then some of it's just, and it's like, this is not FDA approved. And it's just like, whatever. And, if it works for you, great. But a lot of it, it is still just modern patent snake oil.
Right. And a lot of these things, what they'll do is they'll put something that does make you feel pep. So it might have, it secretly has 3 times the caffeine of a coffee in it. But then they're advertising it as it's going to make, it's going to fix your malfunctioning eyeball and your difficulty of the pee hole or whatever. And then people take it and they go, I feel great. And then they keep taking it. And really, it's just 3 coffees.
You're just having 3 cups of coffee.
Yeah, it's just 3 coffees, but I feel amazing.
I feel amazing. I got more energy than I've ever had. Yeah, it's because you've just pounded coffee.
My pee hole feels like a brand new pee hole. I can't tell you.
I've fixed all my female troubles.
Now my pee hole's ready for my new life without female complaints. So, and then, they'll put in one functioning medicine, like they'll put aspirin in something, but they'll then sell it as some magic snake oil thing. And then people feel a little better. And anyway,
just caffeine and aspirin. That's all.
Yeah. Totally.
In a cream.
One popular group of patent medicines, liniments and ointments, often promoted themselves as containing snake oil, which is where the whole snake oil salesman came from. Many of them were laced with ample doses of alcohol, morphine, opium, or cocaine, and were advertised for babies and children, sometimes ending in tragic results.
No, wait a minute. Giving babies heroin didn't go well? What?
Literally, one of these is called Miss Winslow's Soothing Syrup, and has a picture of a baby on it. And it's like, yeah, you're giving them cocaine and opium.
Just getting your little infant hopped up on just coke and opium?
Yeah. The baby acted better. They stopped whining. They were clinging to the ceiling, but they stopped whining. What's your infant doing on in the rafters? Well, he's not whining, I'll tell you that much.
He stopped crying.
Yeah. Totally, things are better. And then they started being some people started to refer to them as quack medicines. If you wonder where a quack doctor came from, I looked that up as well. And it initially in the Netherlands or something, the term quack did start with ducks. So then it went from a duck quacking to someone who just boasts about things. So he's quacking about this or that. And then it came to be used for doctors who would sell things on street corners. I got the medication. So it literally first had to do with these like traveling shows and selling elixirs and things from quack doctors, many of whom were not doctors at all, had never been to any doctor school. They just had a bottle of shit that they were selling.
The bottle of bullshit.
Just a few instances of the high alcohol levels included Lydia Pinkham's Women's Tonic. That's vague, just women. Just to deal with women. Deal with being a woman. Contained.
You need a special lady tonic. Special lady tonic
contained 19% alcohol. For those of you who don't know, a Bud Light contains 4.5%, I think, or 4% or something. Dr. Kilmer's Swamp Root had 12%, and Hostetter's Bitters had 32% alcohol. That's just straight up moonshine.
My God.
It's just straight up moonshine.
Oh, I love it. It's just like, this'll it's like NyQuil. This will put you to sleep. Yeah, because I'm drunk. Yeah. That's why I'm going to sleep.
I'm plastered. Yeah. The room's spinning and I'm not worried about my cough anymore. Yeah. Because you don't even know where your cough's coming from. You can't.
You've knocked me out with a bottle of whiskey. That's what this is.
Yeah. You could also chug a Jack Daniels and feel the same.
And have the same effect.
Yeah. The trade group of medicine producers, aided by the press, which had grown dependent on money received from remedy advertising, fought bitterly against any regulation. Oh, so the media was getting money from shitty corporations that weren't doing shit for people, sometimes harming those people. And so the two of those working together didn't want any regulation. Boy, I can't think of anything like that nowadays, right? That doesn't exist anymore.
Nope. We got rid of that problem. That's gone.
Boeing and General Dynamics funding CNN. That doesn't have any impact, right?
Nope, none at all. None. The Shell Oil buying ad time. Nope.
Absolutely not. The fact that Chevron is on the board of the New York Times, and the New York Times never once mentioned that Stephen Donziger, a lawyer, was on house arrest in New York City for 3 years for winning a lawsuit against Chevron. I'm sure that played no role.
No. You're being a paranoid weirdo. That's.
In 1906, the Pure Food and Drug Act was enacted despite all of the pressure against it, which required manufacturers to list their ingredients on packaging labels. So they had to tell you what the fuck was in it. Crazy. And restricted misleading advertising. Later in 1938, another law required that manufacturers test their products. I love that prior to 1938, they legit would just pour shit in a bottle and say, "Here, you drink it. See what happens."
Test it. Why would I test it? It's just alcohol and cocaine. Let the kid drink it. Why do I care?
Of course, nowadays, there's even before Trump's finishing off the FDA, there's been ways around that testing, such as Coca-Cola might test what it does to a child for if they have one Coke. They don't test what it does to a child if they're drinking a liter of Coke every day.
A day. Oh.
And in 1962, tests for effectiveness were first required. So 1938 was when they tested to see whether it would kill you for the first time. 1962 was when they started testing to see whether it actually did what it claimed it does.
So we've had maybe 60 some years of just them having to say what they were going to do.
Of them testing to see whether what they claimed happened. That started in 62. But there's even ways around that, as we already mentioned, with like various, what are they called? Supplements. If you call it a supplement,
yeah,
you don't have to prove it does shit.
God.
A few legitimate ones actually delivered the promised results. These included Listerine, Bayer aspirin, milk of magnesia, and X-Lax. Yeah, X-Lax is pretty easy to prove. If you took the X-Lax and then blew out your asshole, it's working. Looks like that had the desired result.
You blew out your asshole. Yeah, Dan hasn't left the can in about 4 hours, so I think the X-Lax, we can give a check mark on that one. It works.
He just keeps yelling, it works! Oh my God, it works!
Yep, blown out asshole, check. Yep, that's what we got.
It won't stop working. Guys, it just keeps working.
It works too well. It works too well.
And then another one that worked was pneumonia cure salve, which ultimately became Vicks Vapor Rub.
Oh, yeah.
The ever-popular medicine show, which sometimes resembled a small traveling circus, complete with vaudeville entertainment. And this answered a question I always had, because I'd be like, why is it called a medicine show if it's got like a guy swallowing swords? Like, what the fuck? And it was because they'd attract people with the acts and then they'd sell the medicine. And so the medicine funded the whole thing. It's kind of like the soap opera was named because soap companies were funding the TV show. But so it was a medicine show, but most of the show had nothing to do. It's like, watch this lady have a tarantula on her eyeball and then buy our elixir.
She has a tarantula on her eyeball. I've never heard of that in one of these shows, Lee.
Oh my God, you got to Google that immediately, man. You got to watch those. The rest of Graham's evening is going to be that YouTube.
No, I'm not going to Google that. I don't need to ever see that.
Muscle Man acts became very popular. Magic tricks and Native American and Wild West themes. These shows originated in the performances by traveling charlatans in the 14th century Europe, when circuses and theaters were banned and performers had only the marketplace or patrons for support. Later, patent medicine vendors would set up booths at local fairs in colonial America. As early as 1773, laws were passed against these excesses. With the professor, so they often had a professor or a doctor as in these traveling medicine shows, and they'd wear the coat, the lab coat, even though they had zero education at doing such a thing.
I always said a guy in a lab coat is just instantly an expert.
Yeah, I mean, anybody in a lab coat, they know their shit. It's because you can't get those anywhere. They only give you those upon graduation from
lab
legit institutions.
And clipboards are not things you can just get anywhere.
I mean, you got to remember also that back in the 1800s, even if a doctor had gone to some sort of medical school, doctoring was mainly just sawing off limbs that people didn't like. Like, if you didn't, this is bothering me, they cut it off. That was the extent of doctoring until a few years ago.
Here's some whiskey, we're cutting it off. Bye.
I mean, so whether you, it's a little bit like, yeah, it's lying for these guys to say they're doctors. Also, doctors were lying to say that they knew anything.
I love it. I love that. Just it's a lie on top of a lie on top of a lie.
Any woman that complained about anything was being a woman. It was just she hysteria. She needed to have her vagina removed. Like that was it. That was the entirety. That was respected medical knowledge back then.
Oh God.
So
yeah,
it didn't really matter whether they went to school or not.
No. Doesn't matter at all.
Until I don't know what year it was. I think in the 1800s, they legit thought that pus on a wound was helping cure it. So if someone had a wound that didn't have a lot of pus, they would take pus from one patient and put it on the other patient's wound.
Oh, this is horrifying.
Thereby infecting the patient that was actually healing.
Oh, God.
So that was the guy who went to medical school.
I'm going to watch surf videos after this.
This was my funny topic, Graham. I almost did the history of concentration camps. I wanted to bring you the fun one.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you chose this one. This is better.
Okay, good. Just wanted to bring you back in here. So let's see. They get him to buy the miracle elixirs. Most often they were held on a street. Sometimes they were in theaters, but these remedies and elixirs were often manufactured and bottled in the same wagon where the show traveled. See, that's something I always look for when I'm buying any meat on the street. Was it made in the same wagon that the guy lives in?
Oh yeah, you go to a lot of meat wagon stores.
Yeah, anywhere if the guy lives where he's prepping the meat, then it's good meat. I find that's always true.
It's good meat.
You can't go wrong. If the guy had to fold up his bed to serve you the jar of meat, then it's quality.
Oh, I love it. Just a handmade jar of meat when I go out on the street.
And it's labeled just jar of meat. I mean, you don't
just
need more information than that.
Yeah, it's a little hot. I love it. Just a hot meat jar.
Look, if he gets to fold up his bed, that means he's devoted to the craft, all right? If he's living with the meat, that means he's devoted to the craft.
He's an artisan.
Muscle man acts were especially popular in these shows to impress the crowd with strength and vigor. During these presentations, the professor, quote unquote, frequently employed shills who would step forward from the crowd and offer unsolicited testimonials about how great the medicine worked for them. Other plants within the audience who had obvious affliction, such as a limp, would shuffle forward and challenge the medicine man to fix their limp, which he would miraculously do.
Nice.
Can we please bring these back? I mean, we're only a half step from that. It's the only thing Alex Jones has not done is have someone limp up to him and say, "Fix me."
Yeah. We should start doing this roadshow where we sell these elixirs, Lee, and have shills in the audience, and we should do this. We got to do this.
I mean, look, dude, half of the reason we're so suppressed is because we're not we're not fucking frauds and grifters. So
I know
that is the path. I mean, if we want to go back to making some serious money, that's the fucking path right there.
I'm in. Let's do it. Let's just start grifting, get a muscle man, put some whiskey and cocaine in a bottle and give it to babies. I mean, let's go, Lee. Whatever. Let's do it.
So what? So you weren't thinking I was I thought I was the muscle man. Am I not?
Well, yeah, no, you are the muscle man. Yeah, for sure. You're the muscle
okay, good.
And I want you in one of those kind of one-piece leotard things. Yeah,
the thing with the stripes on it. Yeah, one piece.
Yeah, yes. And we'll get you like a fake iron bar that you bend, and it's actually just made of rubber or whatever.
Totally. All right, I'm gonna wrap up here in a minute. But the most well-known of these shows, and there was a moment in a past show we talked about the Native Americans in the medicine shows. I think we mentioned it, but the most well-known of these Native American inspired shows was the Kickapoo Indian Medicine Company, headquartered in New Haven, Connecticut, far away from the Kickapoo tribe. What? Who primarily lived on a reservation in Oklahoma at the time. Founded by, I know, Graham, prep yourself for the shock. Please sit down if you're standing. Founded by non-Native Americans.
What? You mean some white guys just use the native thing to sell some snake oil? What?
I'm sorry to reveal this to you. John Healy and Charles Bigelow, the pair called their large headquarters the Principal Wigwam. They really leaned in. They leaned into the,
oh, God.
To the native inspiration. This building served as both the factory and living quarters for the employees. Devotion, Graham. What was I telling you about devotion?
Oh.
Housing offices for the owners. In 1881, Doc Healy, he went by Doc, even though not a doctor, who owned a brokerage house in Boston, got the idea of promoting medical elixirs using Indian names.
Oh, so it's cultural appropriation and a sweatshop all in one.
All in one. Put it all together. During the shows, all the entertainers wore flamboyant costumes. Native Americans that they had hired were covered in feathers and beads and were carrying crude weapons. The professors wore tuxedo-style jackets, high silk hats, and clothing with gold-studded buttons and glitter and silk and fringe and all this shit.
Oh.
The medicines sold were compounded according to secret ancient Kickapoo Indian tribal formulas. One popular product was the Kickapoo Indian Sagwa, which had blood, liver, and stomach, which was a blood, liver, and stomach regulator. The benefit of claiming traditional native origins was that no one could disprove it, because pretty much everyone buying this garbage was not Native American.
Oh, so great.
One of the most popular performers in the Kickapoo Indian Medicine Show was a man named Dr. John Johnson. Though he looked, acted, and had the knowledge of an Indian medicine man. Are you ready for this, Graham? He was not an Indian medicine man. He was not of Indian heritage, but for 20 years he thought he'd been, because apparently he had been kidnapped at the age of 5 in Nova Scotia by an Indian tribe, and they raised him as their own, and he thought he was Native American.
Oh, that's so great. God, I love it. I just love the level of lies in this.
Last thing, today, many medicines from the patent medicine era are still alive, including anisin anodine, bear aspirin, bromo seltzer, Carter's little pills. Never heard of that one. Stone's pills, Fletcher's Castoria, Geridol, and others. A number of products that once made medicine claims or medicinal claims and were once marketed as patent medicines are still on the market, though they've stopped claiming their medicines, such as 7-Up, Angostura Bitters, Coca-Cola, and I think Pepsi as well, and tonic water. So that is where the name tonic water comes from.
Oh, this is exciting. I've learned so much, Lee, and I now want to start a sweatshop where we make cocaine whiskey for children and anal suppositories. And
I think we should call it Native American cocaine whiskey for children.
Yes. I love it. So it's like racist. It's offensive on so many levels. It's dangerous.
That'd be the first honest advertising in these. We're like, no, it's cocaine whiskey. It's totally what it is.
Cocaine whiskey. We're selling cocaine whiskey for kids.
Native American cocaine whiskey for children and female problems.
And female problems.
Female complaints.
And we'll put "and female complaints" like a sticker across the front.
Both if you have a problem with your female or if your female has a problem with her female parts. All of that. It does all of that.
We're going to be billionaires, Lee Camp. Billionaires.
And if anybody doesn't understand satire, this is the most offensive show we've ever had.
So many reasons why we're not on late night TV, all encapsulated in this episode. Well, where can people come see you, watch you, and follow your business?
I have another live stream today at 3 p.m. Eastern, so join me for that. I live stream 3 days a week, and you can find it all, or at least dive in. The best place to dive in is leecamp.com, and I'm giving away a free month at my locals page. If you use promo code LeeCamp, free, one word, that'll get you a free month over there. So yeah, and join us in a couple of minutes for an extra segment at patreon.com/government secrets. You also unlock like 80 segments the moment you become a member at patreon.com/government secrets.
Yeah, we go over there and we do like This Week in Government Secrets or Evergreen, and you can join for as little as $5. Go to grahamelwood.com. I've got some tour dates through Asia, and also got a new website, bitcoin-hollywood.com. I'm going to be releasing more stuff there. So like, share, and subscribe, and go to my Bitcoin Hollywood YouTube channel. It's very new. It only has a handful of subscribers, so go over there and subscribe. And this has been episode 187. The CIA fights itself and racist elixirs. Pew, pew, pew.
That fixed racism.
That fixed racism and lady problems.
Okay, man. See you in a few minutes.
Yeah, go over to patreon.com/government secrets, everybody. We're going to be live there in about 2 minutes.
Later.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.